These are the top reasons that stop people from moving to Orange County, California. And we're going to talk about, people that maybe they're just considering Orange County and then they come out here and they're like, I don't like it. Or people that are so pumped and amped to come out here to Orange County and then this particular reason stops them. Sean has definitely talked to a lot of people over the years who didn't move to Orange County for whatever reason. So we're going to sort of go through some of the major ones that you've seen over the years.
Yeah. So we've obviously talked to a lot of people that have moved here. And then people that obviously inevitably there were certain aspects of whatever's going on in their life or here itself that really didn't work out for them.
So one big reason for people who are really amped to come out here, like they love Orange County, they want to come out, is that they sort of just kind of wait too long, right? And then what they have budgeted in terms of what they can afford, it just blows through that. The affordability over the years has just gone worse and worse. So
yeah, it's a weird thing because I understand wanting to be deliberate and kind of be methodical about that process. The problem is that this county, and it's not just Orange County, but the general housing market, but Orange County certainly very amplifies it, has basically just kept on roaring. So whatever someone they had a certain budget in mind when I'm first talking to them, let's say they're about a year or so out. Inevitably that year or so comes and they're whatever they had budgeted, they either have to up that budget significantly potentially, or they have to deal with a smaller home or just give up altogether. So it's kind of one of those things where even if they're trying to, let's say they have a home in another area, Orange County seems to be appreciating at a faster rate than most of the other areas of the country. So that's where you're kind of dealing with this. Well, yeah, if you're selling, but then that gap keeps on growing depending on where you are. So and a lot of it has to do with the fact that we don't have much new supply hitting the market. In particular, we don't have much new construction, because new construction, they do have to sell pretty quickly. And obviously that is another point that we're going to bring up later on. But we don't have that much new construction here.
Yeah.
So before we continue, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Sean Dezad.
And I'm Courtney Dezad.
And we're licensed realtors here in the state of California. And if you're watching this channel, you might be thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love Southern California. I love the Pacific Ocean. I can't wait to move it here now. The problem is I'm not local. I may be out of state. I may be even out of the country. So I don't know what to do. Until we get that's when you reach out to us so we can have that conversation. We can be your boots on the ground, finding out specifically what you're looking for. And we can do virtual tours of the homes as well as the neighborhoods, really getting a good feel of what you're looking for. So when you do come out here, your time is spent super efficiently. So what you want to do is when you give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country. Another reason that sometimes people just sort of give up or they decide they don't want to come here anymore is they feel like the market is too competitive. To them, they really hate having to pay over the asking price. And sometimes, not always, right? Not always, of course, but sometimes depending on when you come out here, maybe the market is just particularly hot at that moment. You're going to have to go over asking. There's there's a big bidding war.
Yeah, honestly, it depends on the time of year, and honestly, it depends on the house itself. How did that seller price that house? Do they price it very competitively to get a lot of offers in, or do they price it super high where you're actually going to get a discount off of what their list price was? But at the end of the day, the market is the market. So when there's a buyer that surfaces for that property that offers the best price in terms, typically, they're going to win. And a lot of times that is being very competitive where you're potentially going over asking price.
And then also there's people that they decide to move out here and they want to buy a house, but they haven't really thought about the financing, especially if they don't have a job yet, or maybe they have their own business, but there's no history of that business here, right? So you want to talk about that for financing?
Yeah, so I used to do loans way back when. So I used to be a loan officer. However, even though it's been a long time since then, I still, all the same kind of rules pretty much applied to this day. And the thing is that when people are moving out here, especially if they're getting if you're getting cash, you're set. But if you're getting financing, it's okay, well, typically people are reaching out because they actually have a job. There's usually a job relocation or something, and that tends to be a salaried job and you're set. But there are those times when people are moving out here and they don't have a job in mind, or they're going to start a new business from scratch, and which is great. It's just that it's going to delay that possibility of you buying a home, because lenders, they tend to want some sort of track record of making money. They want to make sure that that business is financially viable, that you're making a certain amount of income that you're trying to qualify for the payment of the house. Because that's what the bank wants to do, is to take back that house because the person can't afford to make the payment. So just be aware that when you're starting a new business, that you're going to at least need 1 year, almost certainly like at least 1 year of a track record of that business, and most likely 2+. That's the threshold that these financing institutions need.
Yeah, and then also you mentioned people getting a job transfer. So sometimes that job transfer falls through, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's true. I have seen that happen too. Like they were ready, things were lined up, and it fell apart. And obviously, that was like if that was their primary reason for moving, then that was that.
Yeah,
That was it.
or you've had people, they were deciding between Orange County and somewhere else, and ultimately they decided this other area was less expensive. Not that it was more desirable, they were just like, I'm just gonna go for the cheaper option.
Or actually, and that brings up another thing, is that some people thought that they could actually remote work from Orange County, and their job said, no, you can't do that, because obviously, we've always gone through like this whole post-COVID kind of dealing with the new normal was obviously never remote work before pre-COVID. All remote work during COVID, and then now we're in the post-COVID world. Either you're going to hybrid, like where you're having to go to work a couple times a week at least, or you're going all like full time back to your office. So it kind of just depends on what the temperature is of that situation.
So another reason people end up not moving out here is visa issues, right? I mean, if they're coming from another country, it just for whatever reason doesn't work out.
It can be complicated.
Yeah.
Yes, and actually even as a foreign national too, like actually that whole getting financing as a foreign national, there are definitely like financing institutions that offer it, but obviously it's one of those things where your credit in your country may not apply to getting financing here. So there are different banks that obviously offer it. Usually it's typically a higher down payment though, and so just be aware of it. But yeah, as far as the visa stuff, obviously what kind of visa you're getting, what country you're coming from, is that like a work-sponsored visa? Like there's a lot of moving parts to it. So that process can be like delay things significantly, or just put the kibosh in it.
Yeah. Now let's talk about some reasons for people that, they're kind of just in the beginning process and they don't even know really if Orange County is right for them. So let's talk about how for some people, when they come here to Orange County, they think that the regular landscape, we're not talking about the beaches, which are absolutely beautiful, but the landscape itself is pretty, blah. It's just brown. It's got a bunch of tumbleweeds. It's the desert, right? So it's not the green that they're hoping for. Southern California is not green. If you want green, and you want to be in California, you're probably gonna have to go to Northern California. So,
yeah, it's not the most. Yeah, I've had people that were that reached out that were thinking about Orange County, and play in Northern California as well. And it just wasn't, and like based off of our conversation, they were kind of explaining what they were looking for, like a lot of greenery, and I'm going, that is not Orange County at all. I mean, Orange County's a lot of things, but it ain't green. Like that is for sure. So if that's what you want, there are definitely other places that can scratch that itch much better than Orange County again.
Yeah. Another reason people decide not to come here is we really lack a lot of new construction. Sometimes people, they just want that nice new house that everything's top of the line. I mean, there is new construction here, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to the, regular inventory.
Yeah, I mean, that Orange County is built, honestly, like most of it was built up until about 2000 range, like by then. Like, you obviously have pockets certainly that were built post that, but brand new stuff, there's only a few pockets in Orange County that offer like new construction. So if that's what you're looking for, obviously reach out to us so we can tell you what's out there as far as the inventory, but there's not a massive amount of new construction taking place in Orange County. It's already been built out for the most part. So you're usually kind of going more on the outskirts. Again, although there are some spots that actually are pretty conveniently located that do have new construction right now.
Another reason people don't like Orange County is they think it's too sterile. Every house kind of looks the same. And while, there definitely are pockets of Orange County that are charming, are cute, a lot of Orange County is the big master plan communities. And, if you're looking for that really cute, 1920s home that is just, it's kind of like in a fairy tale, that's going to be really hard to find here.
Yeah.
I mean, Orange County is just newer compared to LA and San Diego, so you're going to have a hard time finding that.
That's harder to find than the new construction.
Yeah.
so we don't have much new construction. That's pretty tough to find. And then that type of home, like actually one of Courtney's really good friends lives in LA, in one of those super cute 1920s era homes, and we just don't really have not that we don't have any of it, we just don't have much of it, right? And if you want that beach city with that home and a certain price point, all these things like lumped it together, it's almost nearly an impossibility. So it's one of those things where just, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you cross the county line into Long Beach, and then I'm always like, oh, look at how cute these homes are. Like, they're so old and cute. Of course, old homes come with their own set of issues, but yeah, it's just, Orange County is definitely, it doesn't have that charm that a lot of other areas around it have.
Yeah.
Another reason people decide they don't want to be here is they feel like the homes here are too small. They're from an area where, you have like a ton of land and a huge house. That's just not really what it's like here, really anywhere in Southern California, I feel like. So
particularly Orange. Yeah, Orange County. So some people like, they go, I live in a 6,000 square foot house, and it's like the 3 people in a family. And you're going, this is insane. I mean, for me, I'm like, wow, that is a huge house. But
Yeah.
Or some people have several acres, and they need that where they are. And I get it, like, because your land, your home is kind of where you are, right? Like that, you're not, because the summers are just brutally sticky and horrible, and the winters are so cold. So you're cooped up in that house. In Orange County, like we
go out.
Yeah, you need like a way less house
Yeah,
than
you
you
do.
typically think you would, because you're not home all the time. Like
Yeah.
the whole idea is to like really be out and about, whether you're in your yard or whether you're at the park or whether you're hiking or going to the beach or doing something
Yeah.
where you're not at home. Like when you're stuck at home going, well, why are you at home? I mean, like, why aren't you out? Like that,
Yeah.
like that's kind of like the whole point of being here.
For sure. I mean, we're just not home that much. I mean, and that's just kind of how we grew up. I mean, that's just the culture here, is that you're out doing stuff. So you don't need that much home.
Yeah, and even like for instance, like now we don't have a ton of bugs here. We have some where obviously you have these screen doors and all that stuff for your French door, sliding glass door. But like during the day, like especially in the afternoon, you're opening that door and you have the ceiling fans going to kind of like ventilate the house, like, right? So you're not cooped up in this bubble. Like the whole idea is to kind of let the air flow in and out. I mean, again, assuming that's not a particularly hot day, in which we have some, of course, but it's not obviously not the norm.
Another reason somebody might decide Orange County is not for them is, there's not really much nightlife here. When you're talking about, stuff to do nightlife-wise, it is pretty boring. I mean, I would say also that just kind of like the culture here, people are they just go to bed at 9 p.m. I mean, we're boring like that, but we're not the only ones. So
yeah, I mean, we have our pockets, right? We have like the Anaheim Buena Park, like entertainment district, or we have like the beach cities that certainly have, some nightlife options, but it's certainly by no way like a New York City, Miami, or LA kind of like super robust nightlife. That's just not how Orange County is really set up.
Another reason that people don't come here is the lack of seasons. Now that might sound kind of weird, because
that's why you're usually coming.
That's why you're here, so you don't have to deal with the seasons. You don't have to deal with the frigid winters or the super hot summers. And not to say that it's not hot here. I mean, and not to say that every day is perfect. Of course, sometimes it rains. Like sometimes it's pretty hot, or there might be like a whole month where, depending on where you are in Orange County, you need to have your air conditioning on every day. It's just that when it comes to weather, Orange County, in my opinion, has the best weather in the world. I mean, Southern California. I'm not just specifically talking about Orange County, but
coastal Southern California.
Coastal Southern California has the best weather in the world, but if you want seasons, we don't have it. So
no, you're not going to be shoveling snow here. I'm sorry to break that to you.
Yeah.
But yes, no shoveling snow. No like tire chains, none of that stuff.
Yeah, and then you may be wondering, you're like, oh, it's so nice. Well, what's this? Well, we do have a marine layer. This is a little thick than normal.
Actually, a lot thicker than
normal. A lot thicker than normal, yeah. But I mean, that's actually what makes it cooler in around 2 o'clock, which is usually in other parts of the country, 2, 3, 4 o'clock is when it's baking. Here it's actually not that bad, even in the height of summer, because we do get that marine layer, and then it sort of like burns off as the day
by
goes.
midday.
Yeah, so although this probably won't burn off today, but this is a rare day.
But you don't know when today is, so.
But just like I was saying, I mean, we have the best weather in the world, but it's not going to be perfect all the time.
But
Case in point.
But there are those perfect days. Oh. Man. And there are those days that you just
Yeah.
make you go,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Today, like, it is absolutely like going,
Yeah.
I walk outside, I'm going, I need, like in my t-shirt, and
Yeah.
I'm perfectly in a perfect bubble of just warmth, and it's just beautiful.
There's a lot of those days here, for sure.
Sure.
And then going back to people that want to come to Orange County and then this stops them, and that is, whatever house, whatever particular type of house they're looking for, or whatever city or area they're looking for, there might be like a particular lack of inventory of what they want at that moment. So that could stop them, right?
Like especially if you're looking like right now, I kind of preach a little bit of patience here, only because that, like, if you're looking at the market in a snapshot in time, like right then and there, will that perfect home that fits your needs be available right then and at that exact moment that we just start talking? Maybe. Like, I just can't tell you for sure, but at the same time, there are like over the course of a few weeks or whatever, we start to see these homes bubbling up because now we're on the lookout for it. I'm putting the feelers out, like, trying to see if we can find any off-market properties as well to find you that home. It's just that people can get a little bit frustrated because there doesn't feel like there's anything right now, because again, we don't have a ton of supply here, of course. And that's why you should reach out sooner than later, just because if you need it like in a couple weeks, that's going to might be a little bit tough. But if you need it, if you're like 3 months out or more, whatever, like then we can really kind of dial in that plan to get you that home. And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California. So as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.